So thinking about routines, I'm a big champion that routine makes things work. There's two elements to that really, the daily routine and the weekly routine. And we are in businesses where certainly on a weekly basis, having a routine and things for people to be doing and concentrating on is really important and makes the businesses work successfully. So our suite of businesses is predominantly property based, whether it's getting involved in helping landlords refurbish, dress or manage and let out the properties. So from a weekly perspective, we would have meetings every morning with different people in the team. So it could be around the maintenance, it could be around the lettings, it could be around projects that are going on that we're helping landlords with, or the financial side of the business. So on that side, for example, we would look and make sure that twice a week we're doing a review on missed payments, who's in arrears, and how we're going to catch up on that. Where each day the people responsible in that team would chase the ones that actually come up as unpaid. So the job of the business owner is to step back from that daily routine of the checking and chasing and making sure that the team members have got the support and the structure and the processes they need and feel able that they can ask the questions about how to deal with things that are not necessarily the routine issues that come up. So, and I think the team appreciate that. There's a rhythm to the week. People know where and when they're going to see each other, where and when to bring things up if they're not urgent. Obviously, urgent things need to be brought to us straight away. From a daily routine perspective, the sort of routine I would follow personally, I tend to set my alarm for 6:45. I'm not naturally a morning person, but having a little boy who's just 16 months old has certainly helped me get into that routine. So I set a radio with two alarms. One starts at 6:45 playing the radio, and then 5 minutes later, if I've not got up, it's a fairly aggressive beeping sound that I want to turn off quite quickly. My brain's trained itself now to wake up around about 6:30, and I'm often looking at the clock, waiting for the radio to go. I know it's coming, so by the time the music starts, I'm up, and I've deliberately positioned the radio at the opposite end of the room so that I have to get up and physically start moving in order that then it's much harder to just sink back in bed. What I used to find when I worked in a day job was I'd set the alarm on my phone and it was too easy just to reach over, switch the snooze button and go again. And I found that would really create a lot of lethargy. So by being up, moving around straight away, what I tend to do is try and get washed and everything before my little boy wakes up. So around about 7:10, I'd be into his room. He's normally awake by then. He's normally got a little book or something out, just keeping himself entertained. We do all the usual stuff, then go downstairs, have a bottle, the breakfast, and then back up, get him dressed, and then I tend to be out at around 8 a.m, drop him at nursery about 8:15, so that I'm into the office just before 8:45. That journey from nursery to the office is often the quietest point of the day, and it's quite good for getting my thoughts together, thinking about some of the more tricky conversations I might need to have, some of the challenges that we're thinking through, and also creating solutions for things. So that I quite value that. I do often listen to audiobooks in the car, but in the morning I tend to just open the window, let a bit of fresh air in, have the peace and quiet. It's a nice drive from our house through countryside, so that's quite relaxing, gets me in a good mood, ready for the day. Once I'm in the office, I will try not to look at my emails first thing, because I tend to find then that you get drawn into what other people's emergencies are. So I'll check in with the team, normally from about 5 to 10 to 9. They know that they can get hold of me on the phone. And then each morning I'll have a catch up with an individual different member of the team. So Monday's typically maintenance, Tuesday's marketing, Wednesday, every other week I have Wednesday off, so I don't tend to schedule anything in for a Wednesday morning. Thursday is the arrears in the letting side, and then Friday we tend to just have a general catch up with everyone. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday we have a whole team meeting so that everybody in the team knows what's going on across all of the businesses, which rooms are coming up, if there's any antisocial behaviour issues, so that we can share information. And that's one of the things I've found with having a big team, is sharing information becomes a little bit more of a challenge and something you have to think about deliberately. So the morning then would tend to be fairly structured. So every morning we have a scheduled meeting with a different department or team member. We go through, make sure that they know what they're doing for the following week, so we're always planning 1 week ahead. Make sure they've got the support that they need, the resources they need, and that we've got a clear plan that we're following that matches in with the rest of the business. The afternoons then I tend to have lunch a little bit later. I tend to have lunch around about 1-2 o'clock, and that again is a good time just to come out of the office, tend to go and get something to eat, whether it's a sandwich or a salad. And again, I try and do that on my own if I can, just to give a little bit of headspace, decompress a little bit, and make sure that I'm not being caught eating something nice that I probably shouldn't be doing, because that's catching up with the waistline. The afternoon then I tend to try and focus on the things that I've got to do, the things that have to be done by me that I can't already have delegated to one of the team. And what I work from there is a list that I've prepared the previous evening. So I work my way through that list, and what I'm trying to do now is make sure that those tasks are high value or strategic tasks, and everything else that can be delegated to people who we've brought into the team because they're better at it than me. And that's a big part of having a team, is acknowledging that you could be good at lots of things, but in order to grow and be successful is to bring in people and to trust them to do the things you've been employing them to do. So we tend to wrap up around about 5 o'clock in the office because we need to go and collect little Max. So we go and get him from nursery, and then for kind of a couple of hours then he becomes the priority. Obviously there's all the usual stuff that needs to be done at home, the household jobs, playing, getting ready for bed, milk and routine and everything. Dinner tends to be a little bit later, around about 8 o'clock, and then try and have a little bit of relaxation time. Now, living together, we do tend to talk shop in the evenings, but we do also like to just try and get at least half an hour where we're not talking business. We tend to like zoning out a little bit. We love a good police drama or crime documentary. And then before I go to bed, I have a little think about the next day. I'll always make sure I look through my diary. I set alarms on my phone for around about 20 minutes before each change of appointment in the next day, if I've got coaching calls or meetings, because that allows me 2 snoozes so that I'm aware that it's happening. Everybody else around me is aware that I need to then move on. And then I've normally got 10 minutes or so from the end of one meeting or appointment to the beginning of the next, so I can switch focus to what I'm about to do, with whoever I'm about to focus with. So I make sure that I go through my calendar, set the alarms up, think about what are the key things for the next morning, and then once I'm into bed, generally I'm a very quick sleeper, so I'll head will hit the pillow, and normally I try and make sure I'm conscious that I'll take a good 10 deep breaths, just to kind of relax, wind down, tell the brain it's time to switch off and go to sleep, and then that's it. Radio goes off at 6:45 and we start again.